Historymakers. Historymakers.
Great to have you along today. Now, this is the second time you've been down under. You were here from Canada last year. And who saw them last year and loved it? Who thought they were even better this year? We love you guys, and we're so glad to have you. Firstly, how's the hospitality going down here? Are we welcoming you? Are we honouring you? Do you love us down under here?
We love you.
We do love you.
We love your
very
flat
much.
whites. We love your boogie boarding. We love
Your meat pies.
Yes. Oh, we love your AFL. We love your cricket, and we love you guys.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now, there's a few exports that we love here from Canada. We love New World Sun. Good friends of you guys. Yeah?
Yes.
They're good?
Awesome.
We love Justin Bieber.
Never say never.
No. And of course, we love Article 1. You guys are so welcome down under here. Now, let's get a bit of the story. For those who haven't heard of you guys before, how did you all get together? How are you all related? How did you all meet? Tell us the story.
All right. Well, Nathan and I are brothers, so we've known each other for quite a long time.
Yeah, that's good.
And about 7 years ago, we were playing in a youth band together, and we started writing some songs, and one thing led to another, and Dave joined us, and then just started touring and playing and signed a record deal, and then we found Marty on an online dating site a few months ago. So
Looking for
Was it?
bass.
It was Match or eHarmony? I can't remember. Anyways.
That's a joke.
Ooh.
It's like somebody scribbling notes. Really? Whoa. Not true.
Now, I understand you guys, your dad was quite a well-known Christian musician in Canada. What was that like growing up with him?
Well, actually, yeah. When we grew up, our dad played a lot of sort of folk Christian music, and so I think one of my earliest memories was actually sitting in the back of a van doing a cross-country tour. I was like 3 years old. I think you were 18 months. Our sister had just been born. I don't know how our parents did it before TV on the back of seats, but yeah, it was cool. We would go to shows, and then. After he stopped doing that, he actually became a high school music teacher, and our mom was an elementary music teacher. So we always joke that people say, "Well, how did you start music?" And we're like, "Well, we didn't have a choice. We had two music teachers for parents, so that got us going at a young age."
Okay, and I always love to hear people's testimonies of how they came to Christ. Matt, I understand you've got a great testimony you want to share. Tell us about your walk of faith.
yeah, well, I think for all of us, we're kind of raised in Christian homes, and often that's underrated as a testimony. But through that, I've gone through many incredible struggles in my life, some really dark times, and God showing Himself faithful through those, and seeking out His plan instead of saying, shaking our fists at Him, and seeing Him walk through that and be faithful through that. I think is an incredible testimony, not to me, but to Him and His saving grace. And that's an encouragement to all of us who have grown up in Christian homes. When you go through those times, it's not a time to shake our fists. Job only got in trouble when he questioned God's sovereignty, and that's not our place. So that's my testimony.
Well, we're here celebrating Easter at Easterfest, the death of Jesus on Good Friday, the resurrection of Jesus on Easter Sunday. Tell us why... you guys share the good news through your music and through messages on stage. Why do you like to share that message? What is the gospel message that you want to bring down under here to Australia? Who wants to share that with us today? Yeah.
Well, I think just continuing with what Matt was saying, in my own life too, God has just worked undeniably. And I think it's really, through no action of my own that He is, adopted me as one of His. And I think I just can't deny it, or I just can't not tell people about it. You know what I mean? It's just sort of one of those things where I would feel like I'm I don't know. I would just be denying him if I didn't share his love just with what he's done through my life. So I think, like being on the road is a lot of fun, but being on the road has also been some of the hardest times in my life. And I think God has really taught me a lot about himself through that, and just the responsibility that we feel with the amount of people that we talk to, like people like you. We just feel that calling just to share God's faithfulness and his love and the love of Christ. So
Now, the big song that hit the airwaves over here on the radio, You're the One I'm Fighting For. Who wrote the song? How did the inspiration come? Tell us about the story behind the song.
Well, I actually wrote that song, and the inspiration for that just came from watching a lot of friends go through some really tough times where I think they just were feeling like God was just a million miles away from them. And I just wanted to write a song that sort of reminded them that, you know what, even if it might feel like God is a million miles away, through his Spirit, he's right with us each and every step of the way. When, you know, life's a struggle, he's wrestling through that with us. When life's a fight, he's getting in the ring and he's fighting right alongside us. So that's really where the song came from.
Okay, now down to a really serious question. My 13-year-old daughter wanted me to ask this one. Are you the best violinist in the world?
That's my answer.
That's the answer, okay.
I'm actually better, but they didn't have a bass player.
Oh, okay. You could have the bass up on you. So you can do it Jimi Hendrix style behind the head. You do it through the legs. Is there any other moves you're working on with the violin?
There's one that involves sharks in a helicopter, but I can't disclose that at this point.
That's good, all right. Now, the world's changed in the last few years with social media, Twitter, Facebook. I see you guys are very actively involved. Tell us, how has that changed the way you interact with your fans?
I'll post that to my Twitter right now, and
Well, I think it's just, it's one of those things. It's so easy now to just get the word out about things. So I think that's been the biggest thing for us is just, you know, when we have a new record come out, when we announce we're coming places, people can find out immediately. You don't have to just go to the website. You know, it pops up. If you're a fan, it'll pop up on your news feed. So that's been a great thing for us to just get the word out about different things, and I think that's been the biggest change for me.
It's good, all right. Now, back to the violin. I do have a question here from Sarah Jane at the Easterfest media team. Classical music question. Here we go. Did you ever stop playing classical violin?
well, I started playing classical violin when I was 5, and I went all the way up through, I guess it was 6 years ago that I dropped out of university. I was studying classical music there. I guess I don't really play it that much actively on a day-to-day basis, but I don't know, for all you violin nerds out there, I pick up a few unaccompanied Bach pieces every now and again just to keep my chops up, but that's about where it stays.
Okay, and do you guys have any advice to any younger musicians wanting to get into the music scene one day in a band or as a performing artist? Any advice for them about, you know, sticking to their instrument, having a vision?
Well, I get this question a lot from worship guys in churches, so playing in their youth bands. And I would say there's two things that I would recommend. The one is if you want to do music, just practice, over rehearse. And because I think it's one of those things that, you know, you can never do too much of. And I think too, and if you're, you know, say you're starting out and you're starting to lead worship in your church or something, if you know the songs inside and out, you don't have to think about what you're doing, and you can really just, you know, worship in that moment. And then the other thing is to just have a ton of fun, because it's one of those things that, you know, even if you never leave your garage or you never leave your youth worship band, in that process you can bless so many people. And so I think, you know, it's one of those things. If it happens to take off for you, you know, when we started, we just said, look, we're going to give it 1 year and see what happens. And we ended up getting signed, and 6 years later, here we are. But we just wanted to go out and make music for a year and just try to play for people and bless people and go in churches and do our thing, and it just happened to take off. But even if it never takes off, just through your worship bands, through playing in local cafes, whatever, music is just one of those amazing, amazing things where you can bless so many people. You can bless your youth group, you can bless your churches. So just practice a ton, be as good as you can, enjoy it, and just have fun doing it, because you'll impact so many people. Even if it never, means traveling the world, you will still have an incredible impact on your home church. And I think the home church is really where it's at. So, just do those two things.